Hi, I'm Nisha DeGaring, host of Good Things Utah, and I've been a longtime supporter of Todd's Beliefcast. I hope you find inspiration in the courageous stories shared by the amazing people Todd features on his show. The guests serve as shoulders for us to stand on, allowing us to see a little further and cultivate belief in oneself. Remember, you have the dignity and power to change. I encourage you to keep striving and believing in yourself. Enjoy today's podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. Todd Sylvester, your host of the Beliefcast. I am sitting down with Pamela Love. Welcome, Pamela.
Thanks for having me.
This might sound funny, but I love your last name, Love.
Oh, so do I. Right? Coincidentally.
Yeah. Wow. Well, you know, if you're someone who's looking, if you're someone who looks like you're holding it all together, but inside feel exhausted, numb, overwhelmed, or emotionally spent, this conversation today is for you. Pamela knows burnout in a way most people don't. She didn't just feel tired. Her body and brain literally stopped. And what brought her back wasn't more hustle, more discipline, or more trying harder. It was slowing down, listening inward, and rebuilding from the inside out through small, intentional moments. Pamela now helps high-functioning overdoers reconnect to themselves and feel happier again without doing more. This episode is deep, healing, and honestly, it might be the permission slip you were waiting for. And I know for me personally, I'm looking forward to this because I think I need to hear a lot of this today. I know many of my friends, high achievers, just going hard, but they're burning out. I felt that way before, but Pamela, you've been through a lot, but I'm so grateful that you're willing to sit down with us today and take some time for us to get to know you and then to learn from you today. So this is going to be fun.
Thank you. Yes,
right?
It is fun. If it's not fun, we're not doing it.
Exactly. So why don't we start off, Pamela, just so people get to know you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and, you know, maybe about where you grew up and maybe some of your childhood.
Oh, yeah. So I am what I call a railroad rat. So my dad worked for the railroad. So much like military brats, we travel around, you know, from state to state. And we landed here back in Utah when I was in the 5th grade.
Okay.
So I had moved here from California. I had only spent a little bit of time there. I was really young, but I never, ever really quite fit in. My mom and dad, the childhood home that I was raised in, so my mom and dad, my dad was very contentious. It was always his way or the highway kind of thing. I don't think that's uncommon.
Right.
And my mom was very passive. She's always been great. But inside of my home, I was sort of confused because my mom took us to church and my dad smoked and drank.
Right.
He's what we call that high functioning alcoholic.
Okay.
Now he was always really great. Like he provided for us and he did well. But I always had a little, I guess, a difficult time figuring out my place in the world and really how to love me. I remember when I was little crying because I was homesick. And we had just moved back to Utah and I thought, why am I homesick? I was home. Well, it was just a difficult place to live in, and they were very kind of negative.
Right. And did you have brothers and sisters? Or?
Yeah, so I have one sister. She's 10 years older than me, and then I have an older brother who's 8 years older than me. Then there's this gap.
Right.
And then me and my younger brother who's 14 months younger. Okay. So he was like my twin. Yeah. So he was my built-in bestie.
Gotcha. Well, and that is a big gap. You know I've heard of other siblings when there's that gap, it's almost like they're an uncle or an aunt to you.
Yeah. Yeah, my parents essentially had 2 separate families. There was the older 2 and the younger 2.
And then the younger 2.
Yep.
Right on. Obviously this is a big question, but, you look at your childhood, because of some of those struggles you even mentioned, maybe not fitting in and that kind of thing, and maybe seeing 2 different lifestyles in your own home. How do you feel like that shaped your life at that time? Did you struggle in school? Did you struggle with friends, or did you have to kind of overcompensate because of those things, or how did you
I think
cope with that?
I think for me it was more of my older brother always was getting in trouble. He too struggles with it, or had struggled with addiction most of my life. And so there was a lot of attention on that whole situation. And so I think that for me, I tried to, it's not like I had a built-in perfectionism created. Yeah. And I didn't realize it for many, many years. Okay. And so as I, in school, I don't know, I think I was that child that the teachers would always try to get me to stop talking, and stuff. Yeah. And so I had friends, but I never really learned how to create those deep relationships because we always moved.
Yeah, that would be tough. I mean, I've heard that from other people who did a lot of moving. Like you said, you never get your feet planted, right? And then all of a sudden when you think maybe you're getting close to that, well, we're moving again.
Yeah.
That's
my foundation was always ripped. Yeah.
Wow, that would be tough. And perfectionism, I hear this a lot too. That's exhausting too, because we're never perfect, obviously. But that may be one of the traits of like an overachiever and those kind of things, I would imagine.
Yeah. Well, and I think that because my brother was so challenging for my parents, it was just, I learned from him everything not to do.
Yeah. Right.
I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want that to happen to me.
Yeah. So where did you find yourself once you got through high school? What did that look like for you?
Well, I will be honest, when I was in high school, I couldn't wait to get out of that contentious house.
Well, yeah.
And so I got married really young.
Okay.
I think it was my ticket out of the house, even though my parents wouldn't have cared. Yeah. One way or the other if I moved out or did whatever, but I couldn't wait.
Well, you were like, I'm out.
I couldn't wait to get out. And I remember talking with my mom and telling her at a young age, I was probably 17. And I said, Mom, I just don't understand why you would allow Dad to treat you so poorly in my eyes, in my 17-year-old eyes, think about those lenses.
Yeah. Right.
They're not judgmental at all.
Right.
And so I couldn't wait to get out. And so I got married and that obviously didn't last. I mean, we all go through a growth period.
Sure.
And so I just decided that after some time, as I started to grow up and realize I married somebody that I didn't think I really loved. Plus, I don't really feel like he loved me. Yeah. I mean, how can you? Young love is hard to know.
Yeah, it gets really cloudy.
Yeah.
At that, because you're young, you're immature, you don't know what you're getting into necessarily at the beginning. But like you said, we go through a growth period, and sometimes that means we have to move on. From someone. Other times sometimes you can make it through that. So, was that challenging for you to have to go through like a divorce? And I mean, I know it's challenging, but how did you cope with that? Because I know that can be a really big thing.
Well, yeah, it is. But what I had decided was that I wasn't going to settle. I watched my mom and now I know later, not that she necessarily settled, but she chose differently.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be in a marriage and have that relationship that was different than what I had watched.
Right. Yeah. And that decision led you to making some changes in your life. Right?
Yeah.
I often tell my clients, the greatest gift we have is the power of choice.
Absolutely. Again and again.
Again and again. And I think we take it for granted how powerful that gift is. Right? So thanks for sharing that. It gives us a little idea of, kind of where you were at and where you've come from. As I mentioned in the intro, you got to a place where your body and brain literally stopped from this overwhelm, burnout, whatever you want to call it. But I'd love you to share that story because this is kind of your passion now if you're helping people get through this. And I think it's so common. I can be honest, with everyone listening right now
Mm-hmm.
that that's something I've wrestled with.
Sure.
Probably still wrestling with it right now even.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to hear. So why don't you just take us back and lead up to where you got to that place where you were stopped and didn't know what to do.
Yeah, sure. So, in the very beginning, to understand how I became that overachiever is, when I got into my next relationship, I had 2 kids. That ended up, I have this pattern. He also had some unhealthy behaviors and was an addict. And I didn't understand it back then.
Yeah.
But I ended up raising my 2 kids as a single mom for a decade. Now, when I mean single, I mean a single mom that has no financial support, no emotional support, no physical support from their dad. Not a mother who's single.
Gotcha.
A mother who's single has all that financial support and that every other weekend. And I think it's important to distinguish those two.
Glad you did. Yeah.
Only because I was used to doing it all.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got into my career and jumped in with both feet as a seasoned real estate agent. I've been doing it for 18 years.
Wow.
And so you're always on.
Yeah.
So I found myself serving not only my children, but then my clients 24/7.
Yeah.
And it just became easier for me to get things done all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I was always on.
Yeah. Well, and you were really kind of in the beginning forced to, because you were the single mom, like truly single, no help, no nothing. And you really didn't have a choice per se.
No.
You had to make it happen. So there's a lot of clout there, to be honest. And I actually respect that a lot from you. But obviously that can lead to other, challenges.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So that's where the beginning of the overdoer came in.
Okay.
And so for me, as I was raising my kids and being the mom and the dad, the breadwinner and the nurturer, I got used to doing all of it for everybody. And what I didn't realize is how it was important to, like we were talking about, recharge the batteries.
Yeah.
And so it was during COVID when the real estate market was what I call it wasn't a hot market. It was a piranha market.
Oh, yeah.
Where it was a feeding frenzy.
Yeah.
I was literally working 15-hour days.
Wow.
And it was for, I don't even know how long. I mean, I just kept doing it. And the thing is that at the moment, my body kept allowing me to do that.
Yeah.
I just thought that I could continue to push.
Yeah.
And there would always be gas in the tank.
Yeah.
Until one day, it wasn't.
Yeah.
My brain completely stopped. And I didn't even know that was possible.
Yeah. Can you describe that for us, for those, because I'm trying to think of what is that?
Yeah. What does that look like? How does that happen? So I remember one night specifically, I had been out showing homes, and I pulled up in my driveway after a long day, and I got into my driveway, pulled into the garage. And when I went to turn off the ignition, I just stared at my dashboard, and all of a sudden, I just was almost in a fog. And as I turned off my car, I got a text message, and I just started to cry. And I looked at it, and it was from a client, nothing of a big deal. It wasn't an emergency, but it was just that last straw that broke the camel's back for me. And I just started to cry. And I bawled to the point where I was like, what am I doing? I can't do this. I ran into the house, and my husband now that I'm married to, the love of my life, I walked in the door, And he just saw the tears had,
Yeah.
I mean, I looked like a mess. He was like, oh no, what happened?
Yeah.
Where are you okay?
Yeah.
And I just said, I can't do this anymore. And he was like, what's the matter? And I just said, I can't read this text message. I have nothing left. I just don't know what's wrong.
Yeah.
And he held me until I had kind of composed myself.
Yeah.
But what happened, Todd, was I realized the next day I no longer could look at text messages without my internal system just freaking out. I couldn't even look at email. I all of a sudden, I couldn't remember the names of simple products in your home, like the refrigerator. Like I couldn't pull words. And my life instantly changed from going to someone that is, getting paid to negotiate.
Yeah.
Right? I need to be able to articulate.
Right.
I need to be able to communicate.
Exactly.
To now I can't even remember what the washer and dryer is called.
Jeez. That had to have been so scary.
It was scary.
Because you're probably like, what is going on here?
Yes. So do you remember, as a child, did you ever hear, and maybe in the realm that you work in, people talk about, oh, I remember my mom would say, oh, a family friend of ours had a nervous breakdown.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, what's that?
Yeah, I used to hear that all the time growing up.
Yeah.
All the time.
A nervous, you don't hear that anymore.
Yeah.
And what I realized is that that's what I essentially had. I think my entire system shut down.
Wow.
And I was forced to now take time off because I couldn't function in my business at all.
Jeez. And your husband's probably thinking, what's going on and what can I do to even help?
Yeah,
right?
What's the matter with you?
Yeah.
Now what? And it was one of those things where I was like, I didn't realize that I was probably, I could get one of those really cute white jackets with lots of cute buckles. I was just so confined to, and I thought, what am I going to do? Now what? I didn't even know that was possible. And of course, you don't really recognize what it is when you're in it.
Yeah, because that's all you can feel and see. How long did this last before, you started? I mean, did you go to a doctor? I mean, talk about the process. Once you're in this now, you are having this breakdown, if you will.
Yeah.
What do you do, and how long did it last?
So I actually hired a friend to help me with my business at that time, where she was helping me to monitor my email and communicate with my, and help with my contracts and things.
Okay.
Until that subsided for a moment. And then what I did, I don't do doctors. I'm very homeopathic.
Yeah.
So I was just I just kind of tuned back into myself to say, what am I missing? And what I realized was, as I was able to reflect, there were times that my body was trying to talk to me. One specific time. So I have this life coach of mine, and I was telling her that I was in a group of people, and we were just having a conversation, and I had asked a question, and not one person acknowledged me. And I thought, well, that's odd. Yeah. And I said to her, no, it's nobody can hear me. And she said, isn't that interesting that that's your perception, that no one can hear you? I have a question for you. Are you listening to you?
Dang.
And I was like, I guess not.
Yeah. What does that mean?
Yeah. Now I have a whole nother set of questions to find out.
Yeah.
And ask myself. And that's what I realized, is that my body and my brain were trying to tell me and give me hints there was something wrong with the system. And I didn't realize that you could literally burn the candle at both ends. I didn't know that you could, that the light could go out and that there was nothing but smoke left.
Wow. So what you're saying is the body and the mind or the brain sends messages to us, to maybe they're warnings at times, right? But no one trains us on how to listen to those messages, right?
Right.
I mean, obviously, you were just doing your thing and all of a sudden you hit this wall.
Yep.
You weren't expecting that, and now what?
Mm-hmm.
So when you hear that from her, like, hey, are you listening to you? I'm sure that started opening it up like, okay, this is at least the first step in the direction of getting over or getting through this.
Yeah, it helped me to open up to realize, wait, there's more.
Mm-hmm.
There's more to that. And what I've now come full circle is that there is a relationship between me, myself, and I, which is your body, your mind, and your spirit. There's 3 of us in this vessel.
Yeah. Right. I love that.
And so to be able to recognize that relationship is foundational to all other relationships built. If you don't have trust built with yourself, if you're not listening to yourself, if you're not holding boundaries where they're necessary, and especially as a caregiver, right? As an overdoer, as a perfectionist, it was easier for me just to do it for everybody else.
Yeah.
Rather than to try and convince them to do it.
Well, right now, there's this grind culture out there,
grind,
the
hustle harder.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Come on, buckle up.
Yeah.
Let's go. You got this. Push harder. If you're not doing it, what's your problem? Get out of bed, that kind of stuff. You talk about how, what brought you back wasn't the hustle or the discipline or you better try harder.
Yeah.
So talk about what it was that brought you back and, share that with us.
Yeah. So what I realized was that I had lost who I was. I had lost myself in motherhood. I had lost myself in being a wife, being a business owner. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know who I was anymore, let alone what I liked. I wasn't really happy, right? I didn't laugh a lot. I just was grinding all the time. And what I realized was I thought, well, what do I even like to do? Do I have hobbies? Do I still like to do the same things?
Yeah.
What were those things I used to like to do? And so what I did was, it was really interesting. I decided one day, I'm going to write down 6 things that I used to like to do. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to include some things in there that I know my body would like me to do.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm not this, let's go to the gym. Yeah. Okay. I know we got to work out, know?
Right. So
I wrote down 6 things. And one would be have a dance party in the kitchen. Right? To an old school song that I used to dance to or whatever I love to do. And so another one was go for a walk. Different ones that included all sorts of different things. It could be just meditating for 5 minutes. And so I had a various list. On those 6 things, what I would do is every morning I would roll a dice.
Oh, really?
And I would say, okay, which one am I doing today? And whatever one it landed on, that's what I did.
I like that.
So because I was too burned out to even think about, it was too overwhelming to do anything.
Yeah.
I couldn't even read an email or a text.
Wow.
So let alone how am I supposed to reconnect to myself?
Yeah.
So that's how I started slowly.
Really simple things though too, right?
That's what I said. Yeah, simple.
I think that's another thing we do is that we overcomplicate everything.
Sure.
And then that's why I love what you're saying. You simplified it in such a way that you're like, I can do this, but yet it's exactly what you needed, right?
Oh yeah. So I built on that. I continued to do that. And then what grew out of that. So I ended up it took me 3 years to rebuild my brain.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I took a 3-year unplanned vacation. Financially, I don't know how you prepare for that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because, being a realtor, everything's based on sales. And
commission.
If you're done, like, for 3 years, how do you survive that?
Yeah, it was rough. And so
that's amazing.
And so as I continued, so that year, unfortunately, money was tight. And me and my husband, we're a blended family. We have 4 young adult kids.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, okay, Christmas is rolling around. What am I going to do? We don't really. So I created Crafty Christmas. I said, hey, guess what? This year, this is what we're going to do. If you're going to give Christmas presents, I want you to make them. And if you don't have the time to be able to do that, then just come as you are.
Yeah.
And so what I did was I created a spin-off of that dice game.
Okay. Yeah.
And that reconnect time. And I created 365 days of different prompts of different areas, mental, emotional, physical, environmental, like all financial, social.
Yeah.
And I wrote them all down and I put them on these little love notes, these little tags, and I put them in a jar. And I said, here's how you can reconnect to you. If you want to have some fun and don't want to think about, well, what should I do today?
Yeah.
Here's some things to help prime that pump.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's a great idea, actually.
So I gave it to him. And it was fun, the things that they created for me and for my husband. And
yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Wow. So you go through this for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
And did you find yourself, obviously as you're going through this journey at that point, did you start feeling less overwhelmed? Did it take a long time, or did you start getting your mind back, like you said?
Yeah. So what I realized is as I started doing those, I started taking myself on dates. Okay. So I would just end up and do different things. I would go to the Tracy Aviary by myself.
Okay.
I would go to different stores or different things. And what I realized as I continued to do these prompts, that it was fun.
Yeah.
I started to have fun again. I was like, wait a minute. So this dancing in the car to my favorite tune, like when I was in high school, and those old school tunes that bring back the memories, and you're like, oh yeah, this is a good beat. I
love that. Yeah.
Yeah. That is what started to raise my vibration.
Yeah.
And it started to heal me. One fun moment at a time. And it was intentional. So sometimes, sometimes it was just going to the park and watching the clouds pass.
Yeah.
Like without any exterior music or listening to a podcast, right? We're always doubling down. We always got, I'm going on a walk, but I'm listening to my podcast.
That's so true. We are always doubling down. That is so
true. Right.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but there is an importance to being able to unplug.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't do that anymore.
Oh, no.
I mean, honestly, that's one of the things we do here at Wasatch, where we don't let them listen to their earbuds.
Yeah.
Because it's a distraction.
Sure it is.
Just sit and look at the clouds. I mean, remember when we were kids, and I'm sure you did this too, where you'd look at a cloud and it would make a picture. You'd like, oh my gosh,
that's the point.
That looks like a horse. Or that looks like a cow. Or
do you know how grounding
it's amazing.
That actual activity is?
Yeah.
So constantly, I am always telling my close friend who does a lot like what you do. When you are a caretaker and you're serving so many clients in what it is that you do, it is so profoundly important for you to ground yourself and get back into your body.
Yeah. Yep.
Right? And so I always tell my friend, I was telling you, Danny, I'm like, go put your feet in the grass.
Yeah.
Go hug a tree.
Yeah.
I know that sounds hippy dippy. And it is. But there is a method behind it.
Yep.
There's a reason why. We need to recharge. And the best way for us to do that is to be present.
Yeah. And we did that really well when we were kids.
Yeah.
We'd roll down hills. We would look at an ant pile for 20 minutes.
Yep.
You know,
we'd go.
I want to take a moment to express my heartfelt gratitude to the incredible sponsors of the Beliefcast podcast. First, Craig from Craig Swap and Associates. If you need an attorney, he's your guy. Trustworthy, compassionate, always there when you need him most. Next, Wasatch Recovery, the greatest university on the planet, transforming lives one day at a time. Sandy from Minky Couture, the creative genius behind the most comfortable blanket you'll ever wrap yourself in. Comfort like no other. Special thanks to the award-winning pianist Paul Cardall for his beautiful music that brings inspiration to every episode.
Go exploring. Yeah.
We'll go explore.
Yeah. Did you ever make mud pies?
Oh, all the time.
See?
Yeah. Like those things that kind of, you know, the old saying, we need to be more childlike, not childish, but childlike again.
Yes. Curious.
Yeah,
Yes.
I love that. You know, you talk about the things that you were doing to rebuild. You go this process the next several years, it sounds like.
Yeah.
When did you find yourself where you're like, okay, I can start incorporating a little bit more into my life again? You know, obviously you don't want to go burn the candle at both ends again, but when did you finally go, okay, I'm ready to kind of get back to maybe work and maybe looking at an email and that kind of thing?
Well, what's interesting is when you don't communicate with people, and COVID shut everything
down. Yep.
So everybody was like, wait, what are you still in the business? Do you know, and so I would just refer out my business for a little while. But what I did was I started other endeavors.
Yeah.
So we started a welding business. My husband is a welder.
Okay.
And he's the Rain Man of welding is what I call him. He's so talented.
That's
so we
awesome.
created a welding business, and then we decided to do pressure washing as well because those two match. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
But I will tell you, do you know how therapeutic it is to pressure wash?
Oh yeah.
It was therapy. It was beautiful. I loved it. It's the best thing
That's
ever.
Awesome. Yeah.
And so I just started and put my efforts in other places.
Yeah.
And then slowly but surely things started to come back. Now I will be honest, there are still days where I lose my words.
Mm.
And that's when I'm tired.
Yeah.
When I've done too much, or when I haven't plugged in.
Yeah.
I haven't reconnected to myself. Here's the thing, it doesn't take a lot of time. It doesn't have to.
Right.
I recently created a post on my Instagram where I was sharing with people as a self-love coach.
Yeah.
I have your morning 555. All you need is 15 minutes. 5 minutes of some sort of spiritual study.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's scriptures. I don't care if it's angels. I don't care if it's something uplifting that, is the universe, whatever,
Right. Yeah.
whatever that is for you. But 5 minutes of that kind of a connection, reading,
Mm-hmm.
right? Not listening to, reading.
Yeah.
And then 5 minutes of meditation. So we meditate on grounding back into your body, and then 5 minutes of embodying that. What does that look like? I was like, what does embodying even mean?
Yeah.
And that was, sitting with the sun in your face, out on my back deck.
Yeah.
For 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Not listening to anything, just looking around, maybe listening to the birds, or going for a walk without listening to anything in my ears, or just being present and understanding that what I just read, what I just meditated on, how can I grow from that today?
Yeah. Wow, I love that. Great advice. You mentioned, and I looked at, I've been studying you lately.
Oh, sweet.
You talked about one of the signs where you feel overwhelmed is a big red flag of that is if you're annoyed with someone.
Oh, yeah. My husband.
And I'm thinking, that makes a lot of sense. I think,
Yes.
you talk about, if my
Yeah.
husband's bugging me because he's just breathing
He's breathing.
next to me, I'm probably overwhelmed.
Yes, it's true. So that is one of the warning signs
Yeah.
that your body gives you.
Yeah.
So that is also a signal for me when I need to set a boundary.
Mm.
When I'm impatient, when I'm irritated
Yeah.
with somebody, I have to look at that and go, wait a minute, why? Why am I irritated?
Yeah.
And I go through a series of questions. Have I slept? What is it? They call it blasted. Have you ever heard of that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Bored,
lonely, angry, stressed,
tired.
and
then what's the other one? I know there's also like, what is the D? Distracted, maybe
distracted.
something.
Yeah. But yeah.
But when you're like that, I have to go through that and I have to find out, okay, no, I've slept, and why am I annoyed with this person? Why am I bugged? And is it something that I need to set a boundary with them? I have young adult children, and I've learned, not only with my relationship with my husband, but with them, that some of the things that I have, raised them in they belong to me, but also I get to teach them what my boundaries are. And do you know who taught me how to hold boundaries? Was Danny Deaton.
Oh, yeah. Good old Danny. I love Danny.
Therapists would tell me, Pamela, you need to hold a boundary. And I would say, great. How?
Yeah. How do you do that?
When?
Yeah.
And then I went through Danny's program.
Yeah.
And he helped me understand when those opportunities presented themselves.
Yeah.
And how
Yeah.
I could actually hold a boundary. I was like, oh, this is what it looks like. And so because of that process, which was a whole another story in and of itself.
Sure.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
I could talk about recovery all day long. Nobody knows how sexy that subject really is.
Right.
Right? We don't grow up and think, hey, I want to be in recovery.
Yeah.
But I'm proud to say it now.
Yeah.
Recovery is so many different things.
For sure.
But being able to learn how to set a boundary that is healthy for me.
Yeah.
And how to articulate that in a way that's loving and kind and firm.
Yeah. And boundaries really are a way of saying, I care about our relationship, therefore I'm setting the boundary.
Yes.
I care about us.
Yes.
So I'm going to set this boundary because it's going to make us better. You know?
Yeah.
love that.
And I will be honest, people that you hold the boundaries with don't love them.
Mm.
They don't like boundaries.
Yep. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Never. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the things we do here daily is teaching how to set boundaries.
The how to.
Yeah, because again, they've got really strained relationships and they're in bad relationships and so on and so forth. So yeah,
Yes.
boundaries is a huge thing
And
to
I
learn.
Exactly. And I will say, especially as a wife and a mother in the state of Utah,
Yeah.
and maybe it's everywhere else, but I just know this
Yeah.
concentrated area
Yeah.
here, we give and give and give. We get rewarded for the grind,
Yep.
not and not for the relax or
I
the
know.
calm
So
or
true.
those are so difficult, of those stigmas to continue to just always be on.
Yep.
When your kids have a busy schedule, so much so that they can't connect to themselves and be a kid,
Yeah.
we don't realize, and I know I didn't realize, my kids weren't that busy, right? I didn't have them in all the sports, but in the area that I lived in Alpine for 17 years. And that culture down there is a little bit different.
Oh yeah.
Where it's very highly competitive.
Mm-hmm.
Many of my neighbors would have their children in lots of not only extracurricular activities, but they never had time for play.
Yeah.
To just be a kid.
Well, to be bored.
Yeah.
It's good to be bored.
It
Go out
really
and just
is.
because then you get creative. Well, let's go build a fort. I mean, when I was kids, we'd build forts. No kid builds forts anymore.
Yeah.
Kids nowadays are like, what's a fort?
Yeah.
They don't
you
even
mean
know what
Fortnite?
Yeah. Pamela, that's exactly what they would say.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I hate to admit it, but I am guilty of I grind a lot. I'm a hard worker. My background, I was an addict for 10 years, of alcoholic and drug addict. And I think that has shifted where I grind. I'm not going to lie.
You're a workaholic now.
I really am. And I need to learn what you're talking about here. You talk also about something that I really am practicing. This is like a 5-minute meditation, just 5 minutes.
Yes.
Just
start there.
You've already kind of talked about that a little bit, but like just a 5-minute meditation will change the course of everything that day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And because we all have time for 5 minutes, because a lot of times we think, okay, meditation, when am I going to fit that in? And when am I going to do this?
What is it? How do you do it?
How do you even do that? You know? And so 5 minutes though, that doesn't feel overwhelming.
No. And YouTube, I love me some YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube University.
It's got it all.
You can go on there and they have guided meditations for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And it will help you to figure out how. And at first, of course, here's the thing, the relationship with your brain. I teach train your brain, because if you don't train your brain will run you.
Yes.
Well, what does that mean?
Yeah.
You're experiencing that. You will always be on.
Yep.
So I want to train my brain. So when I'm quiet for those 5 minutes, what is your brain doing?
Yeah.
Right. And people don't understand how sly addiction is. Mm-hmm. It's really easy to think, it's that guy that's under the bridge that is homeless, and that's addiction.
Yeah.
Right. But addiction now is so completely silent that when it comes in, it creeps in.
And it's many forms too.
Yes. Well, and I will say this when I go to my weekly spiritual uplift at church.
Yeah.
If you don't think you don't have an addiction, I invite you to leave your phone at home. And watch what your brain does.
Yeah.
And how many times you're inherently going to check that.
Yeah,
And I know people have scriptures on their phone. They can't leave them at home. But just as a little experiment,
my opinion, if I'm going to be totally honest right now, is I think the phones ruined scripture reading.
Oh, it did.
I think it ruined it.
Yeah.
You heard that here first. I'm seriously.
Yes.
There's something about reading an actual book, holding it in your hand, and using your mind to really truly focus on the words versus the phone. I don't know. It's just so different.
Well, and also think about like journaling. People writing it down.
Actually writing it versus
I shared this last night in I help facilitate a recovery group and a support group, and we were talking about step 4. And step 4 is writing down that written and
full inventory. Yeah.
Inventory. And I said, here's the thing. When you write it down, you give it another place to live out of your brain and out of your heart.
Yeah.
And so it was just, it's so important. What is that? Is it kinesthetic? I don't know the word, but there's this connection when you actually physically write down something.
Yep.
That it releases.
Yep. Yeah, it's
inside
awesome.
of you.
It's good stuff. Good stuff.
Yes.
Man, this is cool.
It's easy.
Yeah.
But if you are overwhelmed, it's one more thing.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's why I try to teach people simple, easy tools. And then when I share them, they're like, "Oh, yeah, that's so easy. I could have thought of that." I know.
Yeah.
I know you can still.
You can. Exactly.
You can do it.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Wow. I love that. Well, here's a question for you, Pamela. If there's someone that's tuned into this episode right now listening to you, and they are struggling and they're in a dark place in their life, what would you tell that person right now?
What I would tell that person is, you're not alone. And the most important part is starting to admit it and looking for a community of other people that have what you want. Right? And I don't mean physically, right? I'm talking about emotionally. And if you're not sure where to start with a couple of those things that we've talked about. Those are easy. Anybody can do it.
For sure.
Especially with the help of AI now, you don't even have to really think.
Yeah.
But it's really just getting back into your body with intention. What is one intentional thing that I can do for myself?
Yeah.
Today.
Wow. I love that.
And guess what? If you're not perfect at it, you get a chance to try again tomorrow.
Right.
You know, it could start with easily just going to bed at a decent time.
Mm-hmm.
That sleep does so much for us.
Boy, is that true?
Just getting some sleep. But what I found in my life, it's doing the opposite of whatever I was doing. I kind of live in bipolar land, right? So if you're sleeping too much, then get up early.
Yeah.
You know, or go to bed early.
Right.
And if you're engaged too much on your phone, then put it away for an hour or two. And go do something else. Leave it at home.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I've been trying, and I've been doing this lately. When my wife and I go out on a date, I leave my phone at home.
Yep.
And she has her with hers.
Yeah,
with
so
her.
someone knows how to get there.
So I don't need, I don't need my phone. And it's been so refreshing. It's like, it's great. I don't have it. I don't need it.
You know, when I was working, I had 2 phones. I had one for personal and one for business. Because the business one, when it rang, it triggered me. It was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And so, but I needed my family to be able to get a hold of me.
Yes. Wow.
And so now, you know, now I'm down to 1 phone.
Good.
And
for
I'm able, and I'm able to leave it.
Yeah.
You know, and forcing myself to get out onto social media. I took a break. I just stopped.
Yeah.
I stopped listening to the news.
Yeah.
That right there.
Oh, I have a mentor that's guided my life for 40 years. And he, 12 years ago, said, Todd, stop watching the news.
Yes.
And I listened to him. And I don't watch the news. And
There's
it was one of the
nothing you
greatest
can
things
do.
I've ever done.
There's nothing you can do to change it. No. All it does is it's meant to create anxiety.
Yeah.
We got enough of that.
I saw a statistic or a study that was done where if you watched just 3 minutes of the nightly news, you have a 30% chance of having a bad day.
Yeah.
Just by watching 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So imagine if you watch an hour.
Right.
What's that doing?
Oh, and how is doom scrolling?
Yeah.
Any more helpful?
Yeah, it's not.
Most of the time, our feeds, we think that we're going to see our friends, but we really don't.
You don't.
So you're just watching other things and
from random.
And before you know it, an hour has passed. I know. Or an hour and a half.
That's so true.
You know, now the other day I did get on TikTok and I watched some, your brain is like your algorithm and it can be trained.
Yep.
Right. And so now my algorithm is trained in such a way where beautiful things come up.
Yep.
Funny things come up. And I laughed so hard until I cried.
Yeah.
And do you know how therapeutic that is?
Yeah, that's a great thing.
It's such good stuff. So what you're consuming matters.
Yep. Amen. Well, that's great advice, Pamela. I appreciate you sharing that because I know people are tuning in who are struggling right now. So thank you. If someone wants to reach out to you and learn more about what you do and you know, learn from you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah. Oh, I love that. So I have a website actually that has a couple of free tools.
Oh, beautiful.
So there's a tool that I teach you to how to tune back into you.
Okay.
Then there's another tool, how to tune into thanks of gratitude. So a specific thorn in your side. Right? Something that's irritating you. Yeah. At one time it was my husband, right? There was a time and I was encouraged to do this. Find something grateful about him every day for 30 days.
Yeah.
That was transformational.
Sure, I bet.
And then I have a tune in together so that you and your partner can learn how to actually communicate to each other through things that you like.
Yeah.
So I walk you through a process and that's found on my website and my socials is Coach Pamela Love. You can find me on there. And
so CoachPamelaLove.com is the website.
Yep.
And then all your socials to that.
Yep, is the same. And I created, it's called the Love Frequency because it's a vibration. Love
For
is a
sure.
vibration.
Yes.
And when we're tuned into that, when we turn down the noise and tune back into ourselves, we can help vibrate a happier, healthier life outward for
Yes.
others
Yeah.
as well.
Beautiful. Well, I'll put those links in the show notes.
Oh, I appreciate
so
that.
obviously people can click right to it, and I do recommend that. But this has been a great conversation. It's been so good to meet you. Grateful for our mutual friend Tiffany, who got us connected.
Oh, yes.
So
yes.
grateful for her.
She's a
Grateful for
sweetheart.
people like Danny and other people in our lives. Celeste. We've got a lot of mutual friends. and
Yeah.
We're very blessed in that area. And I'm grateful to be able to meet you and call you one of my friends as well.
Well,
so
thank you.
yes.
Thank you. I want to just leave you with one last thing, if I can
Sure.
remind you.
Okay.
It's a favorite quote of mine.
Yeah, loved it.
So it's by Alan Watts. Do you know who that is?
Oh, he's my fave.
He's my fave. Yes. And he says that life is not a problem to be solved, but an experience to be had.
Yeah. Mic drop.
Isn't that the truth?
Yes.
So if you remember nothing else,
Yeah.
just try to have fun.
Yeah. I love it. Alan Watts.
This has been so fun
Yeah.
to be able to talk to you. So thank you so
You bet.
much.
Absolutely. No, you're easy to talk to. And thank you for sharing and getting vulnerable with us and sharing us about your life. And I know anyone listening to this will walk away a much better person with the ability to get these tools you're talking about. So I'm grateful for that as well. So
What did you learn today, Todd?
I learned that I need to go to your website and download that tool so I can tune into myself. But more importantly, no, to be honest, what I learned the most was it's simple.
Yes.
It's the simple little things to do that will make the biggest difference. And the thing that really brought back up good memories, sitting down and watching the clouds and make a picture out of them. So I'm going to do that.
Oh, sweet.
You have my word.
Will you report back to me?
Yes, I will.
I would love that.
You got it.
Oh, that would be great.
You got it.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, there you go, folks. Pamela Love. Please go to her website, check out her social media stuff, reach out to her. If you're struggling, for sure, reach out to her.
Yeah.
And, she will give you a simple little thing to just get the ball rolling in the right direction. Yes, there's a time maybe that we need to grind, but there's more time where we need to just be.
Yeah.
So, and Pamela is a great example of that. Thanks for tuning in. I love you guys. Please share this episode with your loved ones. Please encourage your loved ones to put down the phone, grab a book. Let's read. Let's maybe read for a few minutes every day. How cool would that be? What a concept. But anyway, I love you guys. And Pamela, you are the best. And thanks for bringing the frequency of love to us today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
You betcha.